Hello everybody, welcome back to TTTV. This is TTL F1 and this is the season finale, round 21 of season 12, which takes us to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and the Yas Marina circuit. My name is Kieran McGinley, just me in the box tonight to round off this magnificent season. No championships on the line in this race, but race seats are on the line for next season. So don't go thinking the championship and everything's out of the water today, because the driver lineups are to be confirmed this Saturday coming. Make sure you're following TTL F1 to make sure you're fully up to date with who's driving where next season. Obviously the teams will still need to be impressed going into this race, and it's how drivers handle these last few races, maybe when there's nothing happening. And you could look at it, no pressure, zero pressure at all for some drivers, maybe some feeling the pressure more than others. But yeah, great debut from the guys last time out. Really enjoyed watching that back. And yeah, not too bad for their first time in the commentary box. Looking forward to hearing more of them. But you're stuck with me tonight, so that's really unfortunate for everybody. Hope you're going to enjoy the stream tonight. It should be a fantastic one. If you're wondering where I've been on my typical holiday. That's what I do now. I enjoyed it. It was nice to just sort of do nothing for a couple of days, but I'm back now and ready for the season finale. And more importantly, I'm looking forward to how the drivers approach themselves for season number 13. Now, of course, it might be unlucky for some, but lucky for one, season 13. I think that's how I'm going to build it up as. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Unlucky for some, lucky for one. Yes, you know what? That's my tagline for season 13. If someone wants to sort of have that and put it on the stream, that is absolutely fine. I'll take full credit for it though. But yeah, we've got about 3 minutes until 8 o'clock and we don't have everybody here yet, so obviously we're going to wait around for them. Welcome to everybody joining the stream. Now this is the most difficult part, is when I have to not only look after the stream, but then I have to basically put out the tweet saying we're live and all this other good stuff. So it just takes a little bit of a while to get everything going and making sure everything's fine. Well, I looked on the channel. The channel says it's live, so that's good. It's a good start. And yeah, so I just got to put out the tweet and everything, and hopefully we'll be up and away. We're going to copy that link. We're going to now go over to Twitter. This is all a bit meta, isn't it? Having to basically explain what I'm doing. But the tweet is almost done, and there we have it. The tweet is out there. Good stuff. Neon saying it's live. Yes, thank you. Also, Neon saying can't wait to get into the new season, and well, it'll be very good to have you on board. Of course, we get to find out what team you're in next season, and hopefully it's a good one for you. Of course, all the cars still remain equal. It's just a matter of fact of, the guys in the top of the league might go to the Mercedes and the Ferrari. The guys in the mid-table, obviously, in that mid-table. So it'll be interesting to see which teams have been lucky with their drivers and which drivers will be able to sort of be proud of themselves for getting up there with the Mercedes and the Ferraris. It should be very, very interesting. James saying good luck to all the drivers and myself in the commentary box. Hope the action is as good as it was on Tuesday in Brazil. Please go back and watch that. Not right now, obviously, because we're minutes away from the race start, but when you get a chance, go back and watch that. Obviously, James was in the commentary box last night, I believe, with Jack. Is that how it worked? I think it was. I think it was that way around. And yeah, they had a fantastic debut last time out. Hoping to see more of them in season 13. Just don't take my space, guys. May saying thank you to everyone that's helped commentate this season. Oh, we're a good bunch. And I think there's, if we're counting Alan, there's 5 of us in the commentary team. So yeah, I mean, we're all pulling our weight, hopefully. And it all shows when we come to the esports mini leagues. That is when it really shows that all the commentary teams come together and everybody's just having a really good time. It's a shame I missed the second half of the last one of the mini league, which was a real shame. But I was on my holiday at that point, so wasn't a lot I could do, I'm afraid. But there we go. Unfortunate as it is, but There we are. We've got 14 drivers at the moment, up to 15, which is very good. We want to see more and more drivers, of course, who will get those coveted spots as we head into the latter stages of the season. And Spike is joining us tonight. Now, he was saying on Tuesday that he was feeling under the weather. He wasn't sure about joining us tonight, but he is here tonight, so it is great to have him in the lobby tonight. 15 drivers, and Steph is definitely ready. And we've also got the likes of Lambo, Odem's here tonight as well. Squeezy there. Z3, who is doing his first race in TTL F1. It's been a while, hasn't it? But he's here tonight, so welcome Z3. He'll no doubt be in the chat later on, and hopefully he'll join us for Commentator's Corner. I have missed interviews with Z3. He's quite a character. But no Blizzard tonight just yet. Whether he's on the way or I'm not sure. It's his second. Oh, he raced in Brazil. Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. You'd think I'd see a name like Z3 and just be like, oh, there he is. No. See, Neon, you know more about this than I do. Maybe... To be fair, I only came back from work about 15 minutes ago, so... Am I in the right frame of mind? We'll have to wait and see. 7 out of the 15 drivers are ready, so we only need one more driver to ready up, and that is when the countdown will start. And hopefully you're all sitting comfortably for this one. Of course, Abu Dhabi. Some people don't like Abu Dhabi. I quite like it. To drive, the first sector is good. Second sector, yeah, it's mainly straights. And then the third sector, well, okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. The third sector's not exciting at all. Not many moves you can do, but that doesn't mean people won't try. But I always thought Abu Dhabi would always give us a little bit of a race there, and I'm hoping that we all get on fine. And tonight is a very good race. Thank you all for joining us in the commentary box for the season finale. Now, obviously, some people might be saying, you know, oh, this is a pointless race. Why have we got to do it? Well, 21st race of the season. Both teams are decided. Okay, but it's all about next season now. Those drivers will be. This is their last chance to impress the teams before Saturday, when all the teams have to announce all their drivers. And just as I say that, Z3 does pop up into the chat. I'm not sure what that means. Storm in the chat saying, have a good race. Yes, absolutely. That's what we want to see. Good sportsmanship throughout. If you can hear a little bit of buzzing, that's because I have to charge my controller. You won't hear that when we get into the race and into qualifying, of course. But my charger just needs a bit of controller. There you go. Yep, we're in the right frame of mind for this one. Dark as black skies and everything. Looks dry though. Of course, we'll wait for the weather guys in the chat to tell us what it's going to be like. So we'll pop on all the statistics. And yeah, it's great to see everybody here tonight. And this being their last race before all the teams are mixed up again. And I believe that's Uzi in the chat there. Uzi. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. In 5th place in the standings. Maze is saying dry. And Spike is saying there's a monsoon in the race. That should be pretty interesting then. But as we make our way now to the first, or the only qualifying session I should say, we're going to be getting ourselves underway for this one very, very shortly. And the first person out to track was a Force India, was it? No, it was Squeezy in the McLaren. My goodness. That's quite a camera angle to cut to. Squeezy obviously wasting no time there as he makes his way out there. And the Force India's gone straight on as well. And Blizzard is here tonight. Oh, there we go then. That'll be why then. Blizzard's eager to be the first one out there. And there's nothing in the rules to say you can't do that. Nothing at all in the rules that say you can't do that. So, you know, some people frown on that, but it is not part of the rules. If it doesn't say you can't do it, then you're going to see drivers do it. So that's that really. Lambo as well. He'll be hoping for a good amount of momentum going into this season there as he and Poe just have sparring there, I think, just a little bit. Maybe that's a thing to come for next season. Of course, those two were championship rivals during this season. So it'll be interesting to see how they get along. But here comes Blizzard then, coming through this high-speed section now as we head towards 17. You can see there he's just not wasting any time getting this lap complete then. But as soon as he gets onto his lap, he'll have none of that. as he makes his way now through the final sector, through turn 20. He actually clipped that board then as we head towards turn 21. And I'm going to steal Andy's hot lap as we head across the start finish line now towards turn 1 here. You've got to drift the car all the way up to the right hand side there. You can see Blizzard using all that curb he possibly can on the entry into the corner. Then it's through turn 2 now and up through turn 3 where we saw Sebastian Vettel have his puncture in the Red Bull all those years ago. Heading now down towards turn 5 and turn 6 here. Very easy to lock up going into turn 5. Sacrifice the exit of turn 6 for the entry of turn 7 and making sure you get a good exit from the hairpin there. Running a little bit wide there, but now you've got a long straight now with the DRS all the way now down towards turns 8 and 9. And basically you've got to keep the steering wheel as straight as possible. The track does sort of bend to the left, so if you're steering straight you'll actually get onto that blue tarmac. This is where we saw Nico Hulkenberg in the real race actually flip the car upside down after contact. But we're now heading to the second DRS zone and coming towards turns 11, 12 and 13. And we're braking hard there. You'll see some drivers use that curb. We saw Romain Grosjean use that curb as well as other drivers. And he was basically told to stop doing that during the race. We'll see what happens tonight then. Here we go now, coming towards this high-speed right section of 15 and 16. And you've got to really be careful going into 17 there because the braking zone is just after sort of apex of turn 16, so you have to be careful as we now head through turn 19. You've got to be very patient on the throttle now as we head towards turn 20 and then coming towards the final corner, turn 21. You've got to be patient on the throttle here as well as Blizzard makes his way towards the line and he backs right off as expected really. But his lap time on the board is going to be a 1:36.1, and I think Squeezy did exactly the same except he went into the pits and actually Blizzard's lap was actually invalidated anyway, so any lap that he did set there wouldn't have counted. We've got Spike then out on track, DRS wide open as he heads his way now down towards turn 11, and only 2 cars are in the pit lane at the moment. We've got 13 cars out on track. We've got Ollie as well as he makes his way down towards turn 11, 12 and 13. This camera angle here might be used quite a bit. And I don't know if any of you have watched sort of pre-season testing. Today was the last day as Z3 goes top of the table on the super soft tyres. I don't know if any of you have been sort of tuned into pre-season testing in real Formula 1 for the 2019 season. It's quite interesting. The last I checked, it was Albon who was quickest, but of course he was on the fastest tyre possible, and all I can say from testing is take everything with a pinch of salt. That's all you can do. The Lambo then has got the yellow flags there, and that is Blizzard right ahead of him as well. So they're just... Oh, you know what? I'm not sure what they're doing there. But obviously they're communicating with each other. As Sean now goes top, 1:36.2 on some super soft tyres. 3 compounds available tonight are the Hyper Softs, the Ultra Softs and the Super Softs. And there is a McLaren of Squeezy coming out of the pit lane as Steph there gets a lap time on the board, 1:38.9 as S. Graham there gets a 1:37.1 on a set of Hyper Soft tyres. Z3 there in the Ferrari, 1:36.7, obviously doing a good job in F2. Had a fantastic run of wins in F2. And of course their season comes to an end on Sunday night, and you can tune in for that one. There is Rapid now making his way around the track. There is Graham as well. That's not Graham. This is Graham here. And that was Alan Kay going to your screen. Ollie here, 1:37.4. We've got Yuzi there, 1:37.5. Alan Kay only 0.06 of a second off of Yuzi's time on a set of super soft tyres. So not bad at all from Alan Kay. As Steph there, 1:38.9. Again, half these times are not representative. They're just trying to get a lap time on the board. As you saw there, I believe that was Poe left the session. So internet troubles have been, you know, the bane of him throughout this season, and hopefully he'll get those issues sorted for the start of season 13. As I say, unlucky for some, lucky for one. Here's Odems then, flying through turn 3 and now coming towards turn number 5 here. And again, very difficult to get that breaker zone absolutely right as he flies through turn 6, now making his way towards turn 7. You can see there him using the right hand side there. Now that white line is where the track ends, so of course you can have 2 wheels off that white line. But of course Odem's on, I believe, well, this is not his out lap because he was flying into it, but as you can see now from the battery it's at 0, so He's obviously not happy with it, as Yuzi's actually retired from the session. Now that's Sector 3 is where that happened. So not entirely sure what's happened there. But he set a 137.5, so he's starting at least P6 as it stands. Here's Squeezy out there on a lap. Now you can see from the ERS battery he's on a flying lap. And he opens up that DRS as he now heads through towards turn 11 now. And that is the Mercedes, I believe. That is of Steph there, and it is. As you can see now, Squeezy making his way through, and Z3 136.1 goes to the top of the standings once again, but I think he's just doing a super soft run at the moment. That's Rapid 136.0, so they're just pipping each other at the moment on these times, as Squeezy makes his way now through to turn 19, and now making his way down towards turn 20, and then towards the final corner of turn 21 he will complete the lap. So let's see where Squeezy puts himself on the board then. And Squeezy will cross the line. It's a 135.2 from Squeezy on a set of super soft tyres. And there's something you don't see every day. Steph, his best lap time so far is a 137 exactly. Not something you see all the time in this series then. As you've got the, I think that's, yes, it's Blizzard and Squeezy on the same bit of track there. As that's a bit of debris coming off there. I think that was from the braking board. Spike out on track then, as he makes his way now through turn 3, through this slight kink of 4 here. And what you don't want to do is go straight on at turn 4, because the car will get airborne. Ollie there 135.491, which puts him into P2 at the moment, with just over 9 minutes of qualifying to go. And that is the Red Bull of Ollie going through your picture then. As we ride on board with Spike then, as we head through the DRS zone, you can see Ollie getting well out of the way, but Spike using that slipstream, as Squeezy's actually retired from the session, as Lambo gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Squeezy then. So that's going to be, well, that's not going to be good enough for Lambo then, because at the moment he'll be starting from the back of the grid because he hasn't set a time just yet. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And there you can see that is Squeezy's car stranded there with only 3 wheels. So I think the stewards might be hearing about that one. Some people might argue that, well, you won't have a trip to the stewards because, of course, there's no start to the, or there's no next race of the season, so you can't carry over a punishment. But you still have to have the precedent of the stewards there. Otherwise, if the stewards didn't do anything in the final race of the season, then there probably would be a couple of questions. Here comes Spike then, coming around the final 2 corners then. And let's see what he can do then. What sort of time can he set on the board? He's on the middle tyre, and as you can see, he backs right off then. And it will be a 136.3, which puts him into 6th place. So he backed well off then. Obviously doesn't want to set his lap time on those tyres. There's Blizzard then. He's now out on a set of super soft tyres. As again, he'll go straight on, just to cut out a little bit of the lap then. As Lambo pulls to one side. As it looks like he's just trying to get some heat into the tyres here. He's going to fly past Maze, is he? Yes, he is. And see there, Blizzard and Lambo warming up their tyres then, as they make their way in formation almost down towards turn 11 here. And well, they've just got to keep it calm for a little bit, obviously. They might be having a little bit of fun out there, but they've still got the issue of qualifying to go for. As you can see there, Lambo going well off the track now. I think these guys are just having a little bit of fun as we head towards the end of the season. And yeah, well, I think they are having just a little bit of fun then. Odems seems to have a little bit more of a head on him here as he heads now down towards turn 8 here, and then turning in for turn 9. And of course, with these hyper soft tyres, it would be interesting to see if Odems actually has or completes this lap time as we head now down towards turn 11 at the end of this DRS zone. Obviously using that curb there on the right hand side to help turn in and to help get some feeling into the car and into the corner, making the entrance as wide as possible. And here comes Odems then coming through 15, coming through 16 now. You can see some green flags out. Now that might be from drivers who are just, well no, that's a car off the circuit there, that's Lambo. Off at the exit of turn 18, there is Blizzard there as well. I think they're just making their way for Odems as Lambo actually retires from your session then. So with that 5-place grid penalty, he'll be starting at the back of the grid then. Odems completes that lap on the Hypersoft tyres. It's a 1:33.3 and it puts him on provisional pole position with 6 minutes remaining. And really there's only one other driver out there who's on a flying lap right now, and that is Mays, as he makes his way now towards turn 8. And the thing about this straight is it seems like a straight, but then it sort of curves at you at the last minute with that sort of blue tarmac there. And then Mays making his way through there and then coming through the kink of turn 10. He opens up the DRS and now makes his way down towards turn 11. It'll be interesting to see what the strategy is like. Some of the drivers might say, you know what, let's have a bit of fun. Other drivers might be thinking, but this is my chance to grab some points, build some momentum into the next season. I know which one I would do. I'd try and build the momentum rather than give myself a challenge. As Mays now makes his way through towards 17, now coming towards 18. As he makes his way now through turn 19, he'll come around the corner, there he goes. And now towards turn 20, as he now makes his way around the final corner. And the Renault driver, what can he do then as Ollie is retired from the session? Here comes Mays towards the start-finish line, and he's 7th place, 1:36.2. Ahead of Spike then, by just around a 10th, but of course remember, Spike backed out of his lap. Well, Odem's making his way back to the pits, is he? I wonder. Yeah, very late decision to come back into this, but he does come back to the pit lane there. Seeing Steph there going through your picture. As Spike is also on an out lap. Alan Kay, I believe, is on an out lap. As yes, a 2:55 lap. That means he's on his out lap. As now he makes his way around the final couple of quarters. Heading through turn 20 and now coming towards turn 21. Just building up the speed, building up the pace. As we'll now push it now. And heading towards the start-finish line then. Currently best a 1:37.4, which just puts him outside of the top 10. But that was on a set of super soft tyres. We'll see what he can do now on a set of ultra softs as he makes his way now through turn 3, then through that kink of turn 4, and down to the braking zone of turn 5. And through turn 6, now coming towards the hairpin of turn number 7, using a little bit of track there on the right hand side. And now it's down the long straight here, the longest straight on the track then. 5.554 kilometres. And we'll be doing, I believe, it is 20... Oh man, this is going to test me now. I believe it's 27? 28. Be 28 laps around here. That's what it will be. So 28 laps. We're looking at around about 154 kilometres around this track. As you see then, Alan Kay making his way around towards now. This is the final final sector, I should say. As he makes his way towards turn 17. Very tricky braking zone is turn 17. You have to be confident on the brakes and confident in your setup. As now Alan Kay makes his way down towards turn 20. And now heading his way now towards turn 21. And Alan Kay then making his way towards the start finish line. What is his time? It's a 1:36.4. And he puts himself P9. That's ahead of Steph, and it's ahead of Graham there, who now falls outside of the top 10. Blizzard and Poe yet to set lap times. They are still in this session. But Lambo with a 5-place grid penalty will be starting from the back of the grid then. Odem's really confident on those Hypersofts because he's going to go for another hot lap on them. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go. So any of the drivers that are out now are on their final lap. Spike there coming around the final corner. Interestingly, he's chosen some super soft tyres and he's done a 1:34.8, which puts himself up to P2. So Spike then, the prospect of starting on some super soft tyres in second place right now, he's got a good chance here. In fact, with Mays, Yuzi and Lambo, that's P12 now. So really, he's got to hope that 2 drivers don't post a quicker lap time than a 1:34.8. In fact, that's 4 drivers now, Squeezy and Ollie, So actually, that's a really good lap time, because what that means is, whatever happens, Spike is starting in the top 10, and he'll be starting on those super soft tyres. There's E3 coming his way through now towards turn 18, and he's on some ultra soft tyres. We've got Steph out there on brand new ultra softs, making his way through the DRS zone, the first DRS zone, as we head our way down towards turn 8. There is a car ahead of him, as Blizzard and Poe both still in the pits, so they won't be setting any qualifying time today, as Odem's now rounding the final corner. And as he makes his way towards the start finish line then, and he'll be hoping to set a good lap time here then. Spike has done for qualifying, as Rapid now comes around the final corner to start his lap time. Z3's already gone 6/10 quicker than himself through the first sector then. Of course, that was with the super soft tyres. Now he's on some ultra softs, so we'll have to wait and see how he can get on in this session. You've also got Sean out there making his way down towards turn 5. Here's Graham going for another hyper soft run, and Steph there will be the first of them to make a lap time here, as the checkered flag comes out. Here comes Steph towards the line. Can he get himself into the top 10? Making his way towards the line now, and he can. P5 for Steph, 135.8. And let's see who else is going to be close to the line. We've got Graham there making his way around. Odems is now making his way down towards, I believe, that is turn 18. No, it's 13, now coming towards 14. Might lose myself a couple of times during this race, but there we go. So Z3's out there, and Graham is now coming through the final couple of corners. He makes his way around the final corner now, and where can Graham put himself then, as he makes his way towards the line? And it was a 137.8, and I think he backed out of it. But here comes Z3 then with the ultra softs, making his way now around the final corner, coming towards the line then, and it's P3 for Z3 right now. Let's have a look. Sean is making his way around the final couple of corners as Odem's across the line. He didn't improve on his lap time. Here it comes Sean then towards the line. What can he do? Can he get himself up there? Yep, he's up to P5 now. So it's a good lap for him. And then Rapid is the final person to set a lap time, and he's P7 then. So pole position for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix goes to Odems in the Mercedes. I'm sure Odems is going to be thrilled about that. But as we wait now for the qualifying results. And there they are. Odems then grabbing pole position on some hypersoft tyres. Spike then in second on super softs. Z3 on ultras. Squeezy in fourth on supers. Sean in fifth on ultras. Ollie in sixth on supers. Rapid in seventh on ultras. Steph in eighth on ultras. Maze in ninth on ultras. Alan K in 10th on ultras. You see a pattern developing here. Graham then in 11th. He will be able to have free tyre anyway. Usually in 12th. Blizzard 13th. Lambo 14th. But he has got that 5-place grid penalty, so he should be starting from the back then. And Poe then. So Blizzard, Lambo, Poe not setting a lap time in that qualifying session. So who are we supporting in the chat tonight, I wonder? We'll have to wait and see. Make sure you have your support out there. Make sure you fly the flags for whoever you're supporting today. As for me, well, I'm hoping that we have a fantastic race today. We have 15 cars ready to do battle here at Abu Dhabi. And whatever you think of a season finale race here, it doesn't matter because we're racing here anyway. But let's see what we can do then as we get ever closer. So just waiting for the last couple of drivers to connect to the session. And we're underway then for the formation lap. And Odems at any point now will lead the field away, and he does. As they make their way now down towards turn 1, but he does so in a slow fashion then. Remember here we've got the outlap as Odems actually pulls off there. Oh, that's a bit of a weird one. But anyway, so Spike now takes over. Of course, he will be leading at the start of the race, but yeah, not sure what happened to Odems there. Maybe his wheel was playing up and he just wanted to fix it, because he seems to be trying to make his way now through the field again. In real F1, of course, on the formation lap, if you fall behind and you overtake all the cars before you get to the grid position again, well, he's made contact there, so that's going to be him out of the formation lap now. But if you make your way through the field, as you can see there, all the cars warming up their tyres, and Spike just acting like a Raikkonen. No, I don't need tyres to warm up. Not a chance. But yeah, Z3 also one to watch. He's starting on the ultra soft tyres and Squeezy behind him on the super softs. So really fascinating to see all the drivers throughout the field then. Everyone outside the top 10 then. So Graham then is starting on a set of ultra soft tyres. We've got Uzi there starting on super softs. Blizzard also starting on super softs. As Poe then is out there, is he? Can't seem to ride on board with Poe, which is a shame. He disconnected, didn't he? That's why. But Blizzard there starting on super softs, as is Lambo. And of course the Season 12 champion, 4-time TTL champion, will be starting from 13th place then. And we're looking forward to this one as Spike makes his way around the final couple of corners. The AI takes over from now as they make their way back to the grid then. TTL F1 is brought to you by WeakWiFiSolutions.com, who also sponsor the Driver of the Day award. It's also brought to you by A Logo, who sponsor the Fastest Lap award. So who will be able to win both those awards for the final time in season number 12. As the cars make their way back to the grid now, we'll have 14 cars starting this one because of course Poe's disconnection. He hasn't been able to rejoin, so we'll be starting without him then. So we're almost ready to go here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for the season finale here of season number 12. And let's see what happens here then as we are ready to go then. Here come the 5 red lights. Round 21 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like Spike has got a fantastic start. Odems has bogged down at the start then. As we make our way now towards turn 1, Spike has the inside line there, but Odems hangs it round the outside, maybe a little bit off track there, but there's no real way he had to go then. Spike losing that back end very slightly, and Sean wants to try and slip his way through now as we head towards turn 5. Oh, Sean's off! Sean is off then! Where did he go? He's off the track and he's into the wall. And Sean then, very short-lived there, as that's the Mercedes then of Steph running a little bit wide then as we make our way towards the hairpin. And at the end of that first sector then, it's Spike leading from Squeezy and Odems. And as we make our way down towards turn 8 now, you can see this fantastic camera angle. There's Graham there. Oh, sorry, Z3 that is. And safety car. The safety car has been deployed at the season finale. And I'm pretty sure that was because of Sean's stranded car then. And it looked like Sean, I don't know if he made contact, but the car just seemed to spear off to the left. And obviously he made contact with the wall. That is his race over before it even began. So unfortunate for Sean. It becomes our first retirement of the day. Of course, Poe did not start this race. So the safety car has been deployed. And what does that mean for the super soft runners? Of course, they want to go long into this race. And obviously they can make it last even longer now. But with that safety car out then, we're going to see 2-minute lap times, maybe 2-minute 20s now, which is absolutely fantastic. But obviously they're making their way underneath this hotel complex here, through towards turn 19. And the safety car will pick up the race leader in Spike then. So Spike and Squeezy on super soft tyres. Odems is on the hyper softs, remember, the softest tyre possible. And of course they have to stick to a delta when they reach the start-finish line, or until they reach the start-finish line anyway. And the safety car will pick them up at some point. Obviously the pit exit isn't until when you emerge from turn 3. So we might be able to see the safety car emerge onto the track then. Where is the virtual Burt Mylander? Can't see him just yet. Has he come out on track, I wonder? Did he come out onto track? I'm not sure. He's supposed to be on track. Just trying to find where he is. Ah, there he is on the back straight then. So he'll now pick up the field and we'll all slow down. And I'm assuming that is to recover Sean's car. Maybe the virtual race control thought that it was just too dangerous to recover the car. So the safety car is out then. And the virtual Burt Mylander will be doing some laps then around the track. As it stands then, it is Spike leading from Squeezy, Odems, Z3, Rapid, Ollie, Steph, Alan K, Yuzi, Blizzard is up to P10, Lambo up to P11, Graham 12th, Mays in 13th, with Sean our retirement, or the only retirement of the race so far. And with the safety car out, it brings us to, we'll talk about some of the track then. Obviously, it's hosted the one and only double points finale. That was back in 2014, and the whole fan base thought, yep, let's never do that again. But yeah, it definitely sort of did a thing. But yeah, double points, to me, should never have been a thing. But there we go. So then, the safety car makes its way now towards 16 and then through turn 17. It's always going to be an interesting one. Who can keep their tyres warm? The super soft runners will have a more difficult time of keeping their tyres in check and the temperatures up. And not so much for the ultra soft runners, and definitely not for the hyper soft runner of Odems. As we make our way now towards the final couple of corners. Of course, it's too late for the safety car lights to switch off at this point. And when they do switch off, Spike will become the safety car, if you like. And obviously, if you don't know, for the real 2019 season, they're getting rid of the so-called safety car line. And the field can't overtake until they're back past the start-finish line. So as it was before that Schumacher-Alonso green flag business, we're going back before then now. So you can't overtake until the start-finish line. So that should be an interesting one, as Odem's finding himself off the track then. It was a bit of a weird one. But, well, he's now through past Squeezy. Obviously, he has to let him back through because there's no overtaking under the safety car. Maybe Odems is just trying to fill that McLaren mirror with a bit of Mercedes there. Maybe just trying to get under his skin as well. Odems does like to play a couple of mind games now and again. And Z3 there in 4th place, Rapid in 5th, Steph in 6th place. And the field then just has to bunch up a little bit, of course, coming out of the hairpin, the Mercedes AMG car, driven by the virtual Bertmine, and obviously doesn't have the sort of torque that the Formula 1 cars do, and it doesn't have the downforce either. But I wonder when the safety car is going to come in then. At the moment then, it's as it was before. There's not much you can talk about under a safety car. It's coming apparent to me, but you can see there Squeezy is definitely trying to get into Squeezy's head here. And well, he's taken out the DRS sign now, has Odems. But as we now make our way towards, I believe this is turn 8 then, Spike is just trying to give the safety car the hurry up, and the safety car will be in this lap. Now, just to give you some context, this is coming up to turn 13. We still have up to turn 21, but now Spike controls the field. He'll control the pace now, and he can't push and he can't go until the safety car has reached the pit lane. So now the safety car has to go through 16, then it has to go through turn 17, then through turn 18 and 19, while Spike has to just keep this pace. Now, of course, he can't just brake check the field. He has to keep a constant pace. So if he's going to slow down, he has to slow down gradually. But he has to keep that constant pace going throughout these corners then. And the safety car will have pulled in probably right about now. Watch out for the safety car line then. And when is Spike going to go for it then? And has he gone for it? He's going up the gears. And here comes the safety car line. There it is. And the green flags are back out. And we are underway again as Spike loses that back end very slightly. Watch out for Odems then. Did he get a good start then as we head our way down towards the last corner? I tell you who did get a good start. Rapid then, who might be trying to move round the outside as we head down towards turn 1. Couldn't quite make that one stick then. Blizzard's now up to 9th place. Rapid then tried to go up the inside of Ollie in towards turn 2. Couldn't quite make that happen. But it is Steph now. We've got yellow flags in sector 1 and it's Alan K who's found the wall there. That's on the exit of turn 2 there. So, well, a bizarre place to spin the car around. Not sure what happened there. But if he's in commentator's corner tonight, he might be able to tell us. Here comes Odems then. Of course, DRS not enabled. And it won't be enabled now until the start of lap 6. Here comes Odems then. Trying to make way for Squeezy then as he heads now down towards turn 8. Does he brake later? He does. And he has the inside line and defends it well. Odems now back up to 2nd place. And that's crucial. That's what he needed. Those Hypersoft tyres aren't going to last for much longer. They weren't really expected to last this long under normal conditions, so he could probably push them to around about lap 7, maybe lap 8 now. And these Hypersoft tyres really just don't work around this circuit. But Steph there, gets a little bit wrong there and allows Blizzard to go through there. So he's now down to P8, very close there for Steph. But Blizzard there gets up to P7. He's Rapid now on the back end of Ollie as we now make our way now towards 16 and then towards turn 17 there. Blizzard is in 7th place right now. 4-time champion. He's seeing what he can do then. A little bit of contact with his teammate, at least for this race then. And Odems picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. We can only assume that is for track limits. As we make our way around the final corner, Odems actually picks up the fastest lap of the race, 1:38.6. If it's a 36.8 right now, I would have been impressed. As we now make our way down towards turn 1, the Force Indias make their way through. They're putting real pressure on that Red Bull then as we make our way now through turn 2, now up the hill through turn 3. And just keep an eye on Blizzard then as we head through the kink of 4. Now down towards turn 5. Will Blizzard try and move? No, he won't. But I'll tell you who will try and move. That's Lambo trying to go up the inside of Steph then, which becomes the outside for turn 6. And Steph slams the door shut. Meanwhile then, Rapid has been caught by Blizzard and overtaken by him too. And as we now head our way towards the start, or turn 8 I should say. And the Force Indians there are battling away. Off the screen, by the way, Odems made a move for the lead. And here comes Rapid then. Is he going to try and move down the inside? He thought about it for sure. And Steph now having to defend or try and attack Lambo, whichever way you want to look at it. But he has the inside line there, trying to make the cutback work. But he lost the back end, didn't quite get the best exit in the world. Ollie now under pressure from Blizzard as we now head our way down towards turn 11 then. Not the greatest camera angle in the world to be on board with, but Ollie manages to defend from Blizzard here. And Blizzard on those super soft tyres, so is Ollie. So Ollie's on exactly the same strategy. Rapid, meanwhile, is on the ultra soft. So this is not working out as well for him as he'd like there. And there's a marshal there in a beanie in this weather, in this hot weather there. That's a brave decision from him. But let's focus on the racing. Blizzard then making his way now towards turn 19. And he's putting that pressure on the Red Bull then as we head our way towards turn 20. You can see Ollie got the inside line. Blizzard will try and cut back here. And will he try down the inside of turn 21? He did want to think about it, but actually backed out then. And we've got yellow flags in sector 2 as DRS is enabled. Blizzard then making his way now down towards turn 1. He's got the outside line and Alan Kay's retired from the session. And there's no real camera angle we'll be able to have. Blizzard trying to make his way around the outside as we go through turn 2. We'll have the inside for turn 3. And Ollie then has to concede the position. He's not done yet though, as he'll try and move down the inside in towards turn 5. But he'll have the outside for turn 6. And Blizzard will be very keen to slam the door shut then as we make our way towards turn 7. You can see there the other Force India of Rapid then trying to go around the outside, trying to take advantage of the situation. DRS has been enabled now. So Blizzard won't have that, and the rest of them will behind him. And you can see there that DRS instantly has managed to pull Ollie ahead of Rapid then. Rapid will try and move down the inside in towards turn 8. The Red Bull gives him the room, only just a little bit of contact there. The Force India lost the car for a minute then. There's a little bit of contact on the exit there as we now head our way towards turn 11 now. And they're running almost 3 abreast here. You can see then Lambo trying to have the middle ground here as we make our way towards turn 11 here. It's all a little bit argy, but Lambo finds his way through. Ollie under pressure now from Rapid, who tries to move up the inside in towards 14. Didn't quite have it. Oh, the back end from Ollie. He's lost the car and he's into the wall. And I wonder if that's a retirement, and it is a retirement from Ollie. And just seemed to lose the back end there. But that is the end of the Red Bull's day then. Becomes the 3rd retirement in this race. And Squeezy then picking up a 3-second time penalty. So off the screen then, Odems made a move for the lead. Currently leads the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And we've got Uzi, Graham and Mays all battling for position. This is for 9th place, of course. And we've got Uzi on super soft tyres. We've got Graham there on the ultra softs and Mays on the super soft. And Squeezy's out of the race. What happened to Squeezy? He's off on the inside there. You can see on the left-hand side. So Squeezy is out. It becomes the 4th retirement in this race now. And I wonder, that there didn't seem to be a car around him, so I wonder if he just lost the back end by himself there. Well, that's a strange one. But Squeezy is out of the race then. Odems, meanwhile, leads the race on lap number 7. Spike is in 2nd place. Z3 running in 3rd place with Blizzard in 4th. Lambo 5th. That's Rapid in 6th there. Steph in 7th. Husey in 8th. Graham in 9th. But not for much longer, as the DRS shows. The Ferrari then pulling alongside the Red Bull. Red Bull wanted to keep the outside line, which will become the inside line for the next corner. Mays, though, wanted to take that position away then, as they get a little bit out of shape then. Mays get the position, and Yuzi then falling down to P10. But Yuzi has DRS and Mays doesn't. So look at this now as we make our way now down towards turn 11. Yuzi gets that position back rather easily with the DRS and is able to take 9th place away from Mays once again. As Yuzi trying to make a move actually on Mays. Well, Mays having to attack and Yuzi having to defend there. But as Odems makes his way around the final corner, he will start the 8th lap of this race in the lead. But you can see there, Spike on the super soft tyres, only 2.8 seconds behind. Now, Odems will be desperately trying to make those hypersofts last as long as possible. Yuzi then under pressure from Mays as we make our way through turn 20. Now coming towards turn 21. And Mays there, look at the pressure he's putting on then out of the final corner. They're both on the same tyres as Mays pulls to one side and tries to move down the inside. And Mays, I wonder, yes, he actually did make a stop, didn't he? Let's have a look. He did actually stop under the safety car to put on a set of super soft tyres. So actually, on paper, and according to the rules, Mays doesn't have to make another stop. He's already run on both sets of tyres that he needs to use. So can Mays make it to the end on those tyres? I really doubt it. But he's gone for the super softs, and well, he was the only car to stop under the safety car. Blizzard, meanwhile, putting some pressure on Z3. Ex-teammates, these two. And Blizzard then with the DRS. Is Z3 going to make this too difficult for his ex-teammate as they now make their way down towards turn 11? And no, he didn't make that too difficult there. Z3 made sure to brake early then. And Blizzard is up to 3rd place. Lambo there is running in 5th with Rapid in 6th. I'll tell you what, Steph and Graham here battling away for position as we head our way down towards turn 11. And Steph able to hold on there as Graham closes in on him. And it's been a good drive for Graham so far. He's managed to get away from Mays, of course, battling away with Yuzi there. And Graham just backing out there, not willing to attack. As Steph, oh, the back end there on Steph's car just completely went. That's almost like the brake bias was too far to the rear. He locked it up and he just lost control of the car there. Very strange one. Very strange for the back end to snap on you like that. But that must have been what happened. He must have locked up the rear brakes. And that was a loss of control there for Steph. But we've got cars in the pits then. Rapid and Yuzi are into the pits then. Rapid on the super soft tyres now. So that is his one and only stop. So he's looking to make those tyres last 20 laps. So maybe we're expecting to see the super soft runners now run about 18 to 20 laps on those tyres. We'll have to wait and see how they get on then. As Blizzard here is now closing on Spike then. As he makes his way now down towards the final couple of corners. The first chicane. Yeah, you see what happens when I get back from work 15 minutes before a race? But anyway, Mays here in the slipstream with the DRS wide open. Wanted to make a move on Graham. Thought about it. Then tucked back into the slipstream through turn 8 and then through turn 9. Blizzard picks up a 3-second time penalty. And that, of course, is going to come back to haunt him, maybe at the end of the race. Who knows? But Graham here having to defend from Mays as they head now down towards turn 11 here. And I wonder if Mays is able to have a move then. Not really any overtaking opportunities for the rest of the lap, really. But that doesn't mean you can't have a go. As Odems comes into the pits from the race lead then. So Spike is going to take the race lead once again. But Blizzard is right behind him. As we now head down towards turn 1 here. This is putting that pressure on Spike then. As we've also got Lambo putting some pressure on Z3 as he makes way through turn 1. And we're going to jump back on board for this battle with the lead then. And running on board with Blizzard then as we head now down towards turn 5 here. And you can see how much pressure that Force India is putting on the Sauber as we now make our way to around the hairpin here. And as that's Steph off the track, and it is. Did Steph crash in the pit lane? Did he do a David Coulthard at Adelaide all those years ago? But Spike now having to defend the lead then. But with the DRS from Blizzard, it's going to prove difficult then. As Blizzard pulls onto the racing line once again. and takes the race lead away. Meanwhile, Lambo has got away past Z3 then. And again, Z3 doesn't seem to battle too hard. He knows he's not in the same race. He's just wanting to make those tyres last. The best way he knows how is to not battle. Mays then, DRS on Graham here as we make our way now down towards turn 8. And again, not brave enough, not close enough maybe to have a go down the inside. Just sort of backs out of it. So lap 10 of this Grand Prix then. Blizzard leads from Spike there. That's Lambo in third with Z3 in fourth. Odems has made a stop and he's back out in 5th place with Graham in 6th. Mays is in 7th place, who's also made one stop in this race. Rapid is in 8th, also made a stop. Yuzi in 9th and made a stop. And Steph there must have damaged that front wing because he's running around in 10th place, 22 seconds off the next car. Blizzard then starts the 11th lap of the race then, as we now make our way down towards turn 1. And correct me if I'm wrong, we've got 18 laps of the season to go. And 18 laps of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix to go as well. And season 12 has been a fantastic season. We've had 4 title rivals. And it went all the way to the third last round, which is, well, for these drivers, obviously wrapping it up early is nice, but maybe you can just sort of falter for the next season because you're not properly prepared. Z3 comes into the pits from, I believe that was 4th place there, and he has put on a set of super soft tyres. He rejoins in 7th place as we're watching the battle between Graham and Mays as we head out of turn 7 and along this long DRS straight. You can see there Mays seems to be a little bit closer to Graham than he was before, and this time he'll definitely have a go now. He'll move to the right hand side of the track, then that's going to be the outside for turn 8. We'll then have the inside for turn 9, but will he even need that? No, he doesn't. Mays gets that position up and he goes ahead of Graham then. Up to P5 he goes. Graham is now down to 6th place. He's on the ultra soft tyres and he's made the last 10 laps so far. Expect him to run a little bit longer, maybe towards sort of lap 12, maybe 13, before he comes in and puts on a set of super soft tyres. Usually they put on a set of ultra soft tyres, so maybe he's looking to go for a 2-stop today. But Mays there obviously trying to now get away from Graham. And what's interesting is Mays did stop under the safety car. Obviously he did put on those super soft tyres. And I wonder if he's got to make them last, surely. But can he make them last at the end of the race? That's a huge doubt in my mind. But again, maybe that's why I'm up in the commentary box and not out on track. As Mays crosses the line then. Oh, Blizzard has built a 2.8 second lead, make that 3 second lead over Spike now. Coming out of the final corner. What am I doing tonight? Spike then out of turn 7. Turn 7 it is. But Lambo there 2.1 behind Spike as we make our way now down towards turn 8 at the end of this DRS zone. Odem's then in 4th place. He's made one stop, and by the looks of the super soft tyres, he doesn't plan to stop again. Here's Graham and Z3 then. They're battling away for 6th place. I wonder if Graham's going to put up a fight here with Z3. Of course, Z3 reserving in this race. They're technically not teammates. They are driving the same car though. As we now make our way down towards turn 8 then. And yet Graham doesn't make too much of a battle out of that. And lets Z3 in a little bit easy move than maybe Z3 was expecting. The question is then, the super soft runners, how long can they make those tyres last? I'm expecting them, as I said before, maybe if you've started the race on those super softs, when you're in the top 10, maybe you could get 18 laps of them. If you didn't qualify in the top 10, maybe you're looking at maybe 20 laps, maybe 21. But at that point, you've got to be hoping that the ultra softs are quick enough towards the end of the race. And Mays here, you can see, passed and dispatched of one Ferrari, but it's being closed in by another one as Odem sets the fastest lap of the race. It's a 1:37.6 as there goes Mays through your picture now. And here comes Mays then coming around the final corner with Z3 putting that little bit of pressure on the Renault then as we make our way across the start finish line. And Z3 then just putting that pressure on. Graham is into the pits, by the way, from 7th place that was. And that looks like it's going to be a set of super soft tyres, and it is a set of super soft tyres put on then. And Z3 then thought about a move, but no dice at the moment. Lambo closing in on Spike, by the way. Very close to his gearbox then as he headed through turn 8. I'll just jump back on board with this battle between Z3 and Maze, because Z3 has a good opportunity to try and find a way past. Into the DRS zone he goes, DRS wide open, and we're heading now towards turn 8 now, as there are yellow flags out, but Z3 makes that move on Maze as we head towards the braking zone of turn 8. Can Maze maybe try and find a cutback? No, Z3 parks it on the apex. Great defensive move there from Z3, and he is now up to P5, having a good race tonight. Lambo then putting pressure on Spike now. As you can see from the green spanner icon, that the team think the pit window is open. But what the team think is the pit window and what the drivers think is the pit window are two completely different things. But they both stay out then. But Lambo then in the slipstream of Spike. Oh, bit of a loss of back end from Odems there. Don't think he lost too much time out of that actually. But he's now 3 seconds behind Lambo here. And Lambo and Spike have not pitted. So that could prove crucial for Odems at the end of the race, if he's got a pit window advantage over them. But you see there, 5 second stop go penalty for exceeding track limits. So that'll have to be served at his next pit stop if he does pit again. If not, it's added on to his time at the end of the race. Lambo then in the slipstream now of Spike, and with the DRS open, looks like there's only one way this battle's going to go. Lambo moves to the left-hand side of the track as we make our way now down towards the hairpin, and Rapid is out of the race. Let's just see what happened there then, as Lambo picks up a 3 second time penalty. Just want to see what happened to Rapid here, as we got right on board with Uzi, and oh, Uzi's lost the back end. Oh, he taps the wall there. Did he get away with that one? Very easy to get a puncture like that. And not sure what happened to Rapid then, but we're just going to jump on board now with Spike and Lambo, who have been battling away throughout the entire second sector. Let's now make our way through sector 3, and Lambo is really putting that pressure on as we head now through 16 and then towards turn 17. Lambo just sticking behind him for now, but look who that's invited into this battle. Odems here is now right behind them as they head underneath the hotel now, and Odems really putting the pressure on Lambo now as we head towards turn 20. Odems round the penultimate corner, and Spike is in then, and that is Odems trying to move down the inside in towards the final corner. Has he made that move stick? As we head away now down towards turn 1, Odems is round the outside, and he has done. What a move from Odems. That just came out of nowhere. Well, that was fantastic to watch then, as Odems takes second place away from Lambo. Meanwhile, Spike came in, put on a set of ultra soft tyres, but was caught speeding in the pit lane. So that's 5 second stop go added to the end of his race then, as he's only planning to make the one stop. If you make, or if you receive a stop go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, you can't serve it at that current pit stop. You have to do it at the next one if you pit again. So then Odems making a crucial move on Lambo. He's now going to try and build that gap. Of course, he's not going to try and build the gap in the DRS zone, because, well, we probably can't. But he's now going to focus now, keep his head down, and try and close the gap to Blizzard as much as he can. The less the gap is now, before Blizzard has to pit, the better it is for Odems in the long run. And Rapid in the chat said he touched the curb as Uzi's out now as well, as he's done the same. He's lost it into the wall. Well, turn 2 seems to be claiming a lot of victims. He did that one lap ago, but this time he didn't just tap the wall, he hit it hard, and he's now out of the race then. So another one claimed then. Neon Rapid there, who's TTG Rapid in the game, he was saying he touched the curb, lost control, and then he lost both wheels. So pretty hefty collision for him then. But we're now down to 8 runners. We lost Sean on lap 1, we lost Alan Kay, Ollie, Squeezy, Rapid, and also Uzi now. And this is not the way they wanted to end the season, that's for sure. As Odem slides his way through turn 1, I'm thinking the sliding is a little bit exaggerated on the commentary stream, but 8.7 seconds behind Blizzard, lap 16 of this Grand Prix. And of course we have, let me think about this, we have 13 laps to go now. in this one. Meanwhile, Z3 and Spike are battling away for position. So Spike actually rejoined behind Z3. But remember, Z3 is on some super soft tyres and Spike is on some ultra softs as we head our way down towards turn 5. Then through turn 6, Spike will just be preparing himself for turn 7. That bold white line there across the track is the detection point for the DRS. We're right on board with Spike then as he makes his way through the slipstream then with the DRS wide open. And you can see the KPH rise then. Z3 moves to the left-hand side of the track then. Spike moves to the right-hand side as we now head our way down towards turn 8. And Z3 trying to hold the inside line, and he does. Maybe runs a little bit too deep there, but he might be able to get a cut back here. And he'll have the DRS this time around. And he'll have the DRS, the slipstream as well as we head our way down towards turn 11. So Z3 going around the outside. Has it worked this time around as we head towards turn 11? He'll have the inside for turn 12, but backs out of it. Spike then closing the door as best he could. And he did close the door. Spike able to get the move done on Z3. And that's an important move as well. That's a move he had to make. And meanwhile, Odems then crosses the line. And we're on lap 17. We have 12 laps to go here of the season. And Blizzard leads, but he's yet to make his stop. Odems has made a stop, and he runs in second place. Lambo yet to make a stop. Spike has made a stop. Z3 also made a stop. Maze has stopped once this race already, but we'll have to wait and see if he needs to stop again. Graham has made a stop. Steph there on some hyper soft tyres. And, well, I'm not sure how many stops he's made so far. Let's have a look right now. So there you can see everyone has made at least one stop. So on the hyper soft tyres, it looks like Steph is going to have to stop again. But it looks like he wants to try and take the A logo fastest lap of the race award. Because it looks like he's going for those soft tyres. Or softer tyres, that's for sure. But lap 17. And it's not long now till the end of the season. And Blizzard there leading the way. 7.9 separates himself and Odems. Odems managed to build that gap to Lambo. 2.7 is the gap now. And Spike's managing to build that gap on Z3 as well, as to be expected on the ultra soft tyres. It's going to be a big ask for Spike to try and close in 13.8 seconds over the next 11 laps or so. Of course, we'll have to wait and see. But Blizzard then making his way now around the final two corners. Decides not to pit. And Odems then is hoping that he can just get ahead and hopes that maybe Blizzard rejoins in traffic, so has to do some battling, which will take some life out of the tyres. Lambo into the pits then, from third place, maybe deciding to try and undercut on Blizzard, maybe to try and buy him some time. That is going to promote Spike back up to P4, or P3 I should say, with Lambo in the pits. But of course, remember, he has that 5-second stop-go penalty as Spike then 1:37.4 sets the fastest lap of the race so far. And yes, that is Spike up to third place. That's Z3 up to 4th. There goes Lambo exiting the pit lane. Of course, it goes underneath the track, and then you rejoin just on the outside of turn 3. So Lambo then rejoins in 5th place as Maze also comes into the pits from 6th place. So he did have to stop again, but I'm assuming he's going to go on to a set of ultra softs, and he does. Blizzard then leading by 7.1 seconds, and Odems knows that this is crucial now. He needs to be putting in the lap times with 11 laps to go, 10.5 if you're picky, as he makes his way now down towards turn 8. There is Spike then over the crest, 14.5 seconds now. He's actually losing time to Odems because that gap was 13 seconds. So Odems is pushing like mad here, 6.9 now the gap. So Odems seems to be tuned in right now. But of course, Blizzard still has to stop in this race. And when will he stop is the question. He carries on for another lap. Does he? No, he comes in. So Blizzard is in. And the gap right now is 6.4. You can see it decline. And now it's a bit irrelevant now as to what the gap was. So Odems will now retake the lead of the race then. As Blizzard comes in. And ultra soft tyres go on for Blizzard. Away he goes. So Spike then coming around the final two corners as he picks himself up a 3-second stop go. Not a stop go, just a 3-second time penalty. There goes Blizzard leaving the pit lane. Where is Spike? He's making his way towards turn 1. It looks like Blizzard might be able to rejoin ahead of Spike then. It's going to be close though. As there is Blizzard on the screen then. He'll have the outside of turn 3 and he'll take second place back. So the long stint worked for Blizzard. And he's back out in front of Spike. No traffic to speak of at all there. But if Spike has timed this right, oh, I don't know, he might have been just outside that DRS zone then. He might not have the window of DRS, and he doesn't. So no DRS for Spike then. He'll be frustrated with that one. But Odems with 10 laps to go on super soft tyres, as Blizzard chasing him down. 12.9 is the gap. And that's why it was so crucial to get that gap down. Z3, meanwhile, is being closed in by Lambo as we make our way towards turn 8. And the Ferrari here, well, it's fair to say he's had a pretty decent race, Z3. And it's the first time I've seen him in a long while in F1. And it's great to have him back here in TTL F1. Lambo then, is he going to try and make a move? No, he doesn't. But he definitely stays on the back of him for sure. And we'll have to wait and see how this goes then. We'll see if Lambo tries to make any sort of move there. But this is the closest battle on the track right now, as we now head our way through turn 17. What are they going to make of this battle then? Z3 trying to close in, trying to close the gap. And now making his way now through turn 20, then through turn 21. Odem's lap 20 in the lead. And Lambo looking to try and get the exit fine off of turn 21. Not the greatest run down to turn 1, even if you get a fantastic exit off the corner. As we see now, Z3 trying to defend now. Lambo will be experiencing that dirty air as we head through turn 3, but he's able to keep his foot in as he looks to the inside of turn 5 here. And will he get that move done? Z3 has the inside of turn 6 here, but he can't quite keep that car under control there. So he loses out then, and Lambo takes P4 away, and Z3 is now down to P5. And there is Odems then, making his way towards turn 11. We'll have to wait and see if Odems can actually hold this gap then. We've got 9 laps to go, and the gap between Odems and Blizzard is, well, 9 seconds. So we'll be looking at that with bated breath as well. Because, well, Lambo here is actually hasn't got away from Z3 because of the DRS zone. So Z3 able to keep up that pressure for a couple more corners, but wasn't close enough to have a go at Lambo then. As we make our way now towards 15 and 16, then through to turn 17 as Blizzard picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now this is going to cost him, well, dare I say it, time then. 8 laps to go, and 8.4 seconds is the gap between the two cars. Odems then, 8 seconds now is the gap as Blizzard crossed the line, and the gap is only decreasing as well. And Spike, who was under the weather on Tuesday, well, he's back on Thursday. He's up to P3 right now, and just in a race of his own right now. Lambo, 4.7 is the gap. Is the gap getting closer? Well, it is. It's falling bit by bit. You can see Spike ahead of him there as he heads through the chicane then. Z3 on those super soft tyres. Went aggressive at the start of the race and then sort of conservative at the end, if you like. Mays then has stopped twice in this race. He pitted under the safety car and put on a set of super soft tyres. And, well, he could have used any tyre he liked towards the end of the race because it didn't matter. But he decided to put on a set of ultra soft tyres. As Steph picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. And Blizzard is closing in that gap bit by bit. Just eating away at that gap then. As Odems now makes his way towards turn 17. And now coming towards 18 and 19. And he's pretty outspoken on Twitter. He's one of his rivals is Blizzard, who he says, you know, he's on for a race win and it's just taken away from him. But Blizzard with another 3-second time penalty there. That's going to add up in Odems' favour then. As we now head down towards turn 1 with Odems. We have 7 laps to go and the gap is 4.8 seconds. Blizzard has just turned up in another gear here. And is really pushing. But he picked up 2 3-second time penalties on that lap alone. So although he's pushing and gained sort of 1.5 seconds on that lap alone, well, he's actually just put on 6 seconds again. So He's lost a bit more time there as Odems picks up a 3-second time penalty there. Lambo's just set the fastest lap of the race as we now head down towards turn 5, then through turn 6 there. Z3 then, 5th place right now. And there is not long of this season to go, and well, it's a chance for us to see what we can do then, and what will happen as we head towards season 13. Storm asking, has Odems got any penalties? We've just received a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I'm not sure how many he has, and I won't be able to check because if I do, then the race is paused and we don't see any action. But the only way we'll know for sure is after the checkered flag. There's yellow flags in Sector 1. And who was that, I wonder? Well, Graham was in the thick of it there. And did Graham just lose the back end very slightly then? Well, Lambo has closed in on Spike then. And you can see there, gap closing up. Spike under pressure. Blizzard 136.4. And look at this gap now. As Odems actually pulls to one side. Oh no, that was Steph. I'll tell you what, I thought Odems just pulled to one side before I realised Steph was there. And was just pulling over to let the lap car through. But Lambo putting pressure on Spike. We've also got Blizzard putting the pressure on Odems as well. As we head into the hairpin, Blizzard is going to have the DRS here. It's going to be the battle of the penalties. Spike and Lambo battling away position as well as we head through turn 6. We're going to jump on board with a battle with the leaders once again. As we now make our way now down towards turn 8. Blizzard, will he not try and move? He won't try and move. Because of course, not like in 2017. Where there is only one detection point. Now there's 2 detection points. Lambo pulling over to the left-hand side. He's going to make this move down towards turn 8 now. He's got the inside line. And he'll keep the inside line. Will Spike try and cut back? He will. Tries up the inside. Lambo picks up a 3-second time penalty for his troubles though. And Blizzard couldn't find a way past Odems that time around. And with only a handful of laps remaining. Can Blizzard find his way past? Lambo found his way past Spike. Obviously Odems defending here. It will be the battle of the penalties because Odems has at least 1 and Blizzard has at least 3. So it is going to be the battle of the penalties. Of course they can keep themselves up to date and see how many penalties they actually have. As Odems there running a little bit wide. Blizzard getting a better exit. But then Odems pulling away down the straight then. As we head now down towards turn 1 for the 24th time. We have 5 laps to go here at Abu Dhabi. And that means 5 laps of the season left. And we're in for a blockbuster. Odems on the super soft tyres having to defend from Blizzard on the ultra soft. But of course, the battle of the penalties will come into play. The longer Odems can keep Blizzard behind him, the better. And Odems at that point has to just keep it on the track. Oh, contact between the 2 of them. They won't appreciate that much. But out of the turn 7 there. Out of the hairpin, you can see now Blizzard gets the better exit. He has the DRS. He pulls to the right-hand side. They're side by side as they now head their way down towards turn 8. And Blizzard goes defensive as he breaks in for turn 8 then. As Odems tries to go around the outside. Couldn't quite make it stick then. So Blizzard takes the race lead as he went through that first DRS zone. Odems will have the DRS, but you can see already how much he's actually fallen back then as we head towards turn 11. But Blizzard in the lead with 5 laps to go. And he knows he's got to push now. He's got to push and he's got to keep those track penalties to a minimum now. Lambo 11.3 seconds behind the 2 of them there with Spike in 4th place. That's Z3 running in 5th. Mays there in 6th. Graham there in 7th. And Steph is running around in 8th place. Of course, those who don't finish the race will not score any points. You have to finish the race to score points. So although Uzi and Rapid are in 9th and 10th, they will not be scoring a single point from this race. Blizzard rounding the final corner. He'll cross the line. 4 laps to go here at Abu Dhabi. And 4 laps to go of the season. As we make our way through turn 1 with Blizzard then up the hill through turn 2 and 3. And already the gap is 2.4 seconds between the 2 of them. And I'll tell you what, Lambo's closing in on Odems as well. Not at the rate that Blizzard was. But if the battle of the penalties were to come into play, that would be a pretty interesting one to follow. Lambo then still trying to close that gap. 10 point. Oh, it's actually down to 9.8 now. But you can see there, Blizzard 3.2 ahead of Odems there. As Odems now makes his way down towards turn 8. With only 4 laps to go of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and of the season. Well, Blizzard has been showing himself to the top teams why they want him, why they want to pick him. And Odems, well, if he sticks around for next season, which should be interesting. Obviously, he's had the bad luck this season. And will the top teams recognise that talent? Lambo as well. Obviously, he is a champion of TTL, won season number 11. So the top teams will be interested in him as well. Spike then is just saying that he's enjoying himself at the moment. Just wanted to get back onto the pace and try and challenge everyone up the top of the table. And which team is going to take on the ever reliable Spike? And Z3, well, it'll be interesting to see if he makes the cut next season into TTL F1. He's doing a good job right now, though. 5th place in this race. And it's a good job for him so far. Maze, well, there's only one race in his entire career in TTL F1 that he has not scored a point. And it was the only race he retired from. But he's running around in 6th place. Very consistent is Maze in the points. And that will be recognised by the teams. Then Graham makes his way around in towards turn, I believe that is turn 8 and 9 there, and it is. As he makes his way through. And we will have to wait and see what happens with Graham as well. Whether he is going to be a reserve for next season, I'm not entirely sure. But it'd be great to see him if he does step up. And Steph as well, while Steph has been around for ages, it seems. And he'll be wanting to get himself with a good team for next season. So yeah, that is where the interest lies then. 3 laps to go. And Blizzard still leading this one. He's leading now by 7.5 seconds. It's a big gap now. Force India then making his way now through turn 17 and then through turn 18. Just trying to have a look, see if we've got any clues about next season, but, well, no. All the teams are very uptight about it. They're not willing to give any information away. Blizzard then, 2 laps to go of the season. And Storm saying is Blizzard is so quick. 12 seconds behind to 7 in front. Yeah, absolutely. Rejoining from the pit lane. 12 seconds behind. Now he's actually 9.6 ahead of Odems. That's how quick he is. And that is why he's a 4-time champion in TTL F1. The most decorated driver in TTL's history. 4-time. In fact, I could probably see how many trophies he's actually won. It'd be interesting to see. And let me see just how many he's actually won here. Let's have a look. I'm still trying to find it, but yeah, it is around here somewhere. I know that much. But yeah, Blizzard here making his way now towards the final sector. And well, he has proven this season that he is the one to beat. And there's no surprise in that as he makes his way around the final couple of corners. He's got 4 drivers' titles, 2 constructors' titles, and 1 Challenge Cup. So all in all, that's 7 trophies he's won in TTL. And here we go then. Blizzard will start the final lap of the season. Season number 12 is going to go out here. And it looks like there's going to be one last battle. Odems versus Lambo. Making their way around the final corner there. And Lambo's been closing in lap by lap. I said he probably wouldn't catch him towards the end of the race. Well, he's proved me wrong. 4 tenths separate them as they head through turn 1 now. Odem's under a lot of pressure. He's been on those super softs for 18 laps. They're sort of coming to the end of their life now. And Lambo's got so much more grip now as we head towards turn 5. Odem's trying to cover off the right-hand side then as they make their way through turn 5. Odem's Cuts across there to try and defend as desperately as he can. Making his way through the hairpin now. And the one-time champion Lambo trying to have a better exit out of turn 7 as they make their way now through towards the DRS zone. And you can see that Lambo has the DRS, but Odems just has to stick with Lambo here because he'll have the DRS if he can stick behind. Going down towards turn 11. 15 seconds is the gap now between Lambo and Blizzard. And can Odems find that pace? Well, Blizzard is now making his way through turn 16, so we'll keep an eye on that then. But no, it doesn't look like Odems is going to have a chance here. So Lambo picks up second place. But of course, the battle of the penalties will prevail. And Blizzard now making his way towards turn 19 now. And he makes his way towards turn 20 and turn 21. He will finish the season with a race win and with a flourish. Blizzard there spins across the line. And he'll go backwards across, will he? He reverses across the line. And yes, there he is. Checkered flag for Blizzard there. As Lambo now makes his way around the final corner. With that mistake from Blizzard there, is that going to cost him a race win, I wonder? No, it's not. Lambo then, second place. Odems comes across the line in third, missing out on penalties by just 1/10 of a second. Spike then, losing the back end through turn 20 then. And that could be his final race for Salvos. He's lost the back end. We're all losing the back end out of the final corner then. As Spike actually loses out to Z3, who comes across the line in fourth place. And Spike, I'm not convinced he cares too much about the result then, as there's a lot of donuts happening now. As Z3 will pick up fourth place. Spike coming across the line, he'll finish in fifth place. Of course, he'll have that 5-second stop go to serve at the checkered flag. Maze then will be coming across the line. He's going to finish it in sixth place. Race of his own, really, Maze. He made that stop to go onto the super softs at the safety car. And Maze coming across the line now to take the checkered flag, and he'll finish in sixth place then. So the only one to finish the race now is Graham, who's making his way now towards turn 17 and then coming towards turn 18. And Graham here should pick up seventh place. As long as he finishes the race, he'll pick up a good amount of points to end his season. And he makes his way now towards turn 20 and 21. He'll be the last person to finish on the lead lap is Graham, and he'll finish in seventh place. But your winner of the final race of season number 12 is your season 12 champion. It's Blizzard. Well then, there is your top three. Blizzard, Lambo and Odems as they make their way to those steps on the podium. It's another win for Blizzard, and he builds that momentum for next season. So then, for the final time in season number 12, these are your official, unofficial results. Blizzard takes the race win. Lambo in second. Odems is in third with Z3 in fourth. Spike in fifth. Maze in sixth with Graham in seventh. And Steph, the last of the runners, in eighth place. Retirements: Uzi, Rapid, Squeezy, Ollie, Alan K and Sean. Poe did not start the race, so he will be classified as a DNS rather than a DNF. And none of the finishers finished without a penalty. So there you have it. Season number 12 has come to an end under the fireworks here at the Yas Marina Bay circuit. And I hope you've thoroughly enjoyed the season. I have too. And I'm already looking forward to season number 13, which will start up again on Tuesday. The teams are going to be announced on Saturday. So make sure you're following TTL_F1 to find out the latest on which driver is going to end up where. And that should be a really interesting thing to keep an eye on and keep watching. And, well, Z3 there saying he tried to make it a little bit tougher for Blizzard, Spike and Lambert to get past. But being on slower tyres, he couldn't do much. And his tyres were completely gone by the end of that race. Well, he still managed to finish in P4, so That's a good result for Z3. Obviously, he's been making a name for himself in F2. Has he done enough to get that promotion up to TTL F1 for next season? We will have to wait and see. In the meantime, though, we might have a couple of drivers heading our way to Commentator's Corner. Now, obviously, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time the channel goes live, because, of course, we do have multiple series running across the channel. Almost every day now we have something running on this channel, so make sure you do subscribe and tune into as much as you can. And hopefully you've enjoyed this season. We will have Commentator's Corner, which is in a separate stream. We'll be inviting some of the drivers in to have a chat with them after that season, maybe discuss how their season went, what are their aims for season number 13. Thank you all so very much for joining us for this season. We do have one last Commentator's Corner of the season to go, and I hope you can join me for that in that separate stream. Stay on the channel, keep your eyes peeled.